ever had one of those cocktails?
Hmm.
You know, the ones that are just unbelievably smooth, almost velvety, but also surprisingly clear. There's this technique behind some of them called milk washing. It sounds kind of old school, maybe a bit weird, but it's making this huge comeback. It does something pretty extraordinary to spirits. So let's get into it. What is milk washing, really? Why bother doing it? And, how does it create that unique feel and taste?
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Milk washing. It's creamy, right. But it's actually the opposite. At its core, you're deliberately curdling milk using an acidic spirit or cocktail mix.
Yeah.
Then, and this is the crucial bit, you strain out all those milk solids, the curds.
Ah, okay. So you're not leaving the milk in, you're using it to take stuff out.
Precisely. It's all about clarification. The milvoproteins, mainly one called casein, they basically latch onto certain compounds in the drink.
What kind of compounds? Like the harsh stuff?
Exactly. Things like tannins, which give you that drying, sometimes bitter taste in aged spirits or wine. Also, polyphenols that can make a drink cloudy or taste a bit off. The casein binds to them.
Okay, so that explains the smoothness then. It's stripping out the harshness.
That's a huge part of it. Yeah, you get this unparalleled smoothness. It removes those astringent elements, leaving this really soft, rounded mouthfeel, like turning up the smooth dial, as you said.
And I guess if you remove the bad stuff, the good stuff shines more.
You got it. By taking away those maybe off-putting or overpowering notes, the more delicate intended flavors of the spirit or the cocktail ingredients, they really come forward. Makes things much more approachable sometimes.
Plus the look of it, right? You mentioned clarity.
Oh, absolutely. Visually, it's quite stunning. You end up with this crystal clear liquid. Sometimes it keeps a beautiful hint of color, but it's really polished looking.
And there's another angle too, isn't there? Something about shelf life.
Yes. That's a really practical benefit, especially if you like batching cocktails, because you're removing tiny solids and particles that can cause spoilage over time.
Stuff you might not even see.
Right, stuff that leads to oxidation or just things going off. By removing them, milk-washed cocktails can last 4 weeks, even months, stored properly in the fridge.
Oh, okay, weeks or months. That's fantastic for prepping ahead of a party or something.
It really is. So you see how it all connects. The smoothness, the brighter flavor, the clarity, and the stability. It's enhancing the drink on multiple levels.
Okay, I'm sold on the why. Let's dig into the how. You mentioned casein, the milk protein. What's the science there? How does it actually grab onto the unwanted bits?
Right, so it's some neat chemistry. Casein is the main protein, yeah. When you add something acidic, like lemon juice in your cocktail, or even just the spirit itself has some acidity, it changes the environment for the casein. The acid causes the casein proteins to, denature. They sort of unfold and then clump together, coagulate. That's the curdling you see. And as these casein clumps form, they act like, I like to think of them as tiny little magnets or nets. They physically trap and bind to those larger molecules we talked about, the tannins, the polyphenols, even some color pigments.
So it's not just filtering, it's actually binding, like molecular Velcro.
Ha! Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Molecular Velcro, they grab onto that stuff. Then, when you strain it all out very carefully...
Leave the Velcro and this stuff stuck to it behind.
Exactly. You remove the casein solids and everything they've grabbed onto, leaving just the clarified liquid. It's a pretty elegant process when you think about it. Chemistry making things taste better.
It really is. So for someone listening, wanting to try this, what's the basic rundown? You mentioned acid milk. What kind of milk works best?
Good question. Whole milk is generally recommended. It has a higher fat and protein content, specifically more casein, which means more Velcro to do the job.
Right, more binding power.
Yeah. So the basic steps are, first, get your cocktail mix ready. Make sure it's acidic enough. Citrus juice usually does the trick.
Right.
Then gently warm your whole milk. You don't want to boil it, just warm it slightly, maybe body temperature a little above.
Why warm?
Warming it up just helps the curdling reaction happen a bit more effectively, a bit more evenly sometimes. It's not strictly essential, but it helps.
Gotcha. Warm milk, acidic cocktail.
Then, and this is important, slowly pour the cocktail into the warm milk, not the other way around. Stir it gently, just once or twice.
Pour the booze into the milk.
Okay. You'll see it start to curdle pretty much straight away. Looks a bit messy. You get curds and whey separating.
And then you just strain it.
Not quite yet. Patience is key here. You need to let that mixture sit undisturbed for several hours minimum, maybe 4 hours, maybe 12. Some people even leave it overnight in the fridge.
Why wait so long?
To give the casein enough time to fully bind with all those impurities, You need to maximize the contact time for the Velcro to work properly.
Right, okay. Patience. Then the straining.
Then the straining. And this also requires patience. First, pour it gently through a regular fine mesh sieve to get the big curds out. Then, the crucial step, you need to filter it again, very slowly, through something much finer. Several layers of cheesecloth, or ideally, a coffee filter paper set in a funnel or sieve.
Coffee filter. That must take ages.
It does. It'll drip very slowly, but you absolutely cannot rush it or squeeze the filter.
Why not squeeze? Seems like it would speed things up.
If you squeeze the curds, you risk pushing some of those trapped impurities, those tiny particles, and maybe some unwanted fats back through the filter and into your lovely clear liquid. It kind of defeats the purpose.
Okay, so slow drip is the way. Don't undo all that waiting.
Exactly. Let gravity do the work. So, quick recap. Whole milk, gentle warming helps. Acid is crucial. Pour the spirit into the milk. Wait hours, then strain gently. First sieve, then coffee filter, and no squeezing.
Got it. Seems involved, but the results sound worth it. That smoothness and clarity.
They really are. And once you've done it once, it's not that complicated. Plus, remember that batching benefit, make a big load, it lasts for ages.
True. So milk washing is way more than just a weird old trick, isn't it?
Definitely not. It's a fantastic example of food science, really, applied to drinks. It gives you that smoothness, enhances flavor, gives amazing clarity, and makes batching super practical.
So a final thought then. If you're looking to seriously level up your home bar game, or maybe create a cocktail that makes your guests go, wow, how did you do that? Maybe it's time to explore this. Delve into the silky secret of milk washing. Your taste buds will definitely be glad you did.